Technology, diversity, wine, the redwoods, and everything in between. Welcome to the Northern California Bay Area, and one show takes you inside the real estate that makes it all happen. This is By the Bay.
Hey everyone, welcome back to By the Bay. I'm your host, Dan Anchetta. Really grateful that you're here. Please do like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever else you might be listening to this. And I am really thrilled to have Ash Gomez back from Digital Twinners. Thanks for being here. We've been talking about doing a follow-up episode to last year, which is crazy. It's almost been, how long has it been? When were you on the show?
Dang, it has been. I think it's been about a year.
Yeah, crazy.
Time flies.
Yeah, wild. Lot has changed. I used to sit on that side. Now we've switched. It's exciting times here in the podcast studio. But your business has really evolved since you were last here, right? Because you were just kind of talking about starting doing social media, digital marketing beyond. Well, I'll let you tell the story. I'm telling the story. Tell the story. So your company is Digital Twinners, right? And you started off doing property photography, drone footage, all that sort of thing. And that's what we really focused on last episode.
Yeah.
But I'm really curious to know about what you've been doing lately and to dive into what real estate professionals, lenders, and realtors, kind of anyone in that space, how they should be kind of marketing themselves through social media and digital stuff. So I'll be quiet now. You tell me.
Yeah. So been doing the real estate media for a few years now. And last May, June, I had a couple clients reach out asking if we can start doing short form content for the social media. And at first I was a little hesitant, new territory. But we started to dive, head first in, and our clients started to get a lot of really good results. Seeing a lot of reach within their content, really connecting with their audience. And ultimately they've been getting, leads and sales from, marketing on social media.
Right. So and that's what it's really all about, right? You can have 1 million views, whatever, and no phone calls. And that's cool that you had a lot of eyeballs on you, but it doesn't translate into new clients and deals. And that's the most important thing. So tell us what does that look like? How are you helping real estate professionals, and give us the overview of what that newer project looks like?
Yeah. So just like what you said, it's really quality over quantity. I don't have the, hugest following, but constantly I'm getting DMs on a daily basis of asking about my marketing, property stuff. And so with realtors, they have a really good opportunity of being able to, one, enhance their personal brand online, two, connect with their audience and really be able to just stand out, because I think last time I checked, it was 5,000 registered real estate agents in Sonoma County.
5,000?
5,000. Yeah. This was maybe about a year ago when I had checked that, but
that's
still.
way more than I would have thought.
Yes.
Okay.
And so just in Sonoma County, so it's how do you stick out from the noise? And so essentially it's really just trying to really show your true authentic self, because there's only, one Dan, there's only one so-and-so realtor. And so it's really how do you connect with your audience? And I think too many people try to I'm seeing this agent do this agent do that. Let me have ChatGPT write up a script for me. And they think that they're doing the thing, but it's not true. It's not authentic. And people feel that, especially with today's AI. There's so much content out there, so much noise out there. And there's so many people who are using AI to think for them. And so they're producing, that content from the AI and what they're seeing online. But people really sense that. And I'm really seeing a trend in this vulnerability and just being authentic. So if you're a realtor or anybody in the real estate space, it's really how can you tell, it's the same things that you tell your clients when they're interviewing you in the beginning, why you? Why should I choose you outside of all these other lenders that are around or all these other realtors? And it's really instead of trying to fit into niches, it's becoming a niche of one,
Tell me more about that.
Yeah. So there's always you focus on this little niche and this is who you are inside this place. But sometimes people are trying to have to force themselves into these niches. And so for myself, if you go to my page, you're going to see real estate media, you're going to see social media, you're going to see my cats, you're going to see the Raiders, you're going to see different sports. But that brand is an association of words. And so when you think of Coca-Cola, you already are automatically thinking about different things. When you think of New York City, you're already thinking about, you already have these images in your head. And so it's like, who do you want to be known for and what do you represent? And how can you, create content for that? And I think a lot of people think that they need to sit in front of the camera and like say all these amazing things, but sometimes people aren't natural like that. And you're asking people to be actresses or actors, and not everyone can tap into that. So if that's the case for you, it's like, document what you're doing. If you're already saying these things to your clients, like just set up the little phone on the side, have a little mic to it, and just record what you're saying. And when you're doing that, you're allowing the audience to be able to put themselves on the other side of that screen as if you're talking to them.
Right.
And they're going to be like, oh my God, like what they're saying is like, that's exactly me where I'm at right now. Like I want to, and it, has them want to reach out to them.
Sure. Yeah. Like I've done all of those things where it's like, paid for the professional videographer and like scouted out a location and did this whole thing, and then done stuff in the podcast studio and with the expensive cameras and the lights and the sound treatment and all that stuff. And then I've been like, driving in my car, and like park at my kid's school and just pull out the phone and start recording, and all of it works. Right. And I think you need to have all of those things. If you go to someone's page, it's all super polished, everything's perfect.
Yeah.
People can kind of see through that. I think like having that evergreen content that is like, here's my brand message, here's what I'm all about, and having some good lighting and a good location for that. Like you should invest the money to have that because it's going to stay around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to that, like make that off the cuff. I just had this question.
Exactly.
Here's my phone, just kind of make a video. Right.
Yep.
And doing all of that and having the authenticity. I think people throw that word around a lot. I think really it's like telling people who you are and why you exist, who you live to serve, what's important to you, and kind of like what's inside of you, right? People can look at you and make a guess, but like really telling them like, here's who I am, here's what I care about.
Yeah.
Right. And then they choose to do business with you or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I think that's, a great way to go about it, because you're not having to, put on a front. You're allowed to just be yourself. And that's one of the things when I work with my clients, like I really make sure like when we're recording and we're filming, like your true self is coming out. Because the last thing I want is for you to be posting all this beautiful content, and then you meet your client that comes from social media and they're like, what the heck? You're nothing like your videos. And that's like the worst thing that you could do.
Right.
And so it's really just being comfortable with being, one, in front of the camera, but two, just being yourself.
Sure.
And it's an interesting, I didn't realize, thankfully, I absolutely love psychology and the way people think and why they do the things that they do. And I didn't realize how big of a piece that was going to be within the social media marketing.
Well, it's social media, but it's also all of our client communication. Like we use a lot of templated emails because we send the same kind of like, congratulations, you're in contract message over and over again. And we spent a lot of time thinking about like, does this sound like me? Or does it sound like something that ChatGPT wrote?
Yeah.
Right? Does it sound like I talk in a specific way and I text in a specific way? And like you can tell, like you and I interact a good amount. Like you can tell if it's me or if it's someone else, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
if it's a canned message coming from me. I don't want it. I want it to feel authentic. The whole user experience needs to feel authentic. And that's like the social content you post, the emails that you send, you need to apply reminder stuff, like all that, every step along the way, even down to like the thank you gifts and the handwritten cards. Like it has to be in your voice and be be authentic.
Yes. Right? And it's doing things that like you would do, don't do these things just because you think that, oh, this is how I'm going to get clients.
I saw this trend and
and
some guru somewhere says I need to post these types of videos. Now I'm going to do that. Right.
There's been so many people that have come up to me or approached me and they're like, oh, I have these scripts that I got from, a coach online.
Sure.
And they're such like, I'm a realtor from Sonoma County and I love Santa Rosa. And these are the 3 things I love about Santa Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just, it's so boring,
Right. I think if you use that as like inspiration,
exactly.
I think there's a lot of good ideas, right? But like make it true to yourself. Like you can take that idea of what you love about Santa Rosa or love about Petaluma and like go to that place. Like take your phone. If you love the beach, like, be in your office like, hey, I'm so-and-so. And these are the 3 things I love about living in Sonoma County. And then cut to you at the beach.
Yep.
Our location at the beach is, you to the winery, boom,
Exactly.
you at the brewery, boom, whatever it is, and like make it interesting and authentic and really about you. That would go some distant, that would have more meaning to it. But if it's just like,
Exactly.
I'm reading a script right now and hi, I'm Dan and I like the beach. Like, dude, no one cares, right?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes. And so it's really just, making content that like you'd actually want to watch yourself.
Right.
And making content that's giving value to people and entertaining people and allowing it to really just showcase who you are. And the other part of social media that I think people forget is like, oh, cool, like I need to post. I need to post as much as possible. I need to post on my stories.
3 times a day. You have
Yeah.
to post 3 stories and 2 reels and make sure you comment on 16 and a half people's posts every, like,
Yes, but definitely the posting 3 times a day on TikTok is real. The organic reach is on TikTok is the best way to, just do organic. Unlike with Facebook and Instagram, it takes a little bit longer. But it's a social channel. So if you're posting on there, Instagram also wants you to, be commenting on people's
interacting,
things.
right? It's
Exactly.
social. The meaning of social is it's coming and going,
Yes.
right? So I've heard this where it's like, well, I post every day. It's like, but the only time that you log in is to post.
Yes.
And you don't do anything else. You don't like anyone else's stuff. You don't comment on anyone else's stuff. And that's not how it works. Like it's supposed to be like, I think we all have to remember the way that these companies like Instagram make money. One of the ways is by selling ads.
Yep.
Right. So they want you to be interacting with the platform, using the platform's tools,
Yep.
because then your eyeballs are on your screen looking at the ads that they're selling. Like that's how,
Exactly.
and they want to encourage that everyone's eyeballs are interacting with the platform the way that they make money. So like, if you want to figure out how the algorithm works, think like reverse engineer, how does this company make money?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Facebook makes money off ads.
Yep.
And how do they make money? Because people are interacting with the ads and they're spending lots of time on the ads. So spend time on the platform.
Exactly. And so when the algorithm sees that, 1, you're providing valuable content for people that people are engaging with, but then 2, you're also reaching out to people, commenting on their pages and giving them value. And a way I like to do it is don't ever just like put a bunch of like fire emojis or just congratulations.
The
like,
clapping hands.
Yeah. It's I like to use like an ACA format. So acknowledge, compliment, and then ask. So it's like if someone's posting a fishing trip and they're catching up a salmon or something, it's like, oh, cool. I absolutely love fishing too. Like, are there salmon there, quite often? And it's just starting that conversation. And when you
Right.
comment like that, that comment stays at the very top. And so because of that, when people are scrolling through, not only are going to see you're engaging with other people, but they're also going to see your content. And so keeping that engagement inside there is super key. Because with some of my clients, like I have clients who are on the engagement and they get so much more reach compared to my other clients who just post and ghost.
Right.
And
Post and ghost. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a term that I've maybe not heard of, but posting and ghost. So if you're interacting with this content right now,
Yeah.
right, don't post and ghost, right? Like interact with it. Watch our
Yes.
video, leave a comment, ask a question. If you want more reach, you need to interact with By the Bay podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
There you
So
go.
I really want to get into I think that's really valuable content, right? And information. What I really want to get into is it's March 1st today as we're recording this. And depending on when people are listening to this, it's sometime in March. And I guess the question I have is, what should real estate professionals be doing? Like, give me the checklist of things, or like what you're seeing right now. Like, you must be doing these things if you want to grow on social and find clients on social. Because one of the things I hear is, I post a bunch, but I don't ever get any phone calls.
Mhm.
Right? I post the content, but no one ever comments. I post the content, but I've never gotten. Do people really get clients from social media? Right? So like,
Yeah.
pull back the curtain and tell the audience, like, what should a real estate pro be doing, and how does that look?
Yeah, so I would say it's definitely playing to your strengths, whether you're comfortable being in front of the camera or documenting yourself, but making sure that you have something with good audio. Good audio will trump all the, maybe poor footage a little bit here, or maybe it's not the perfect color, but if you have really good audio, the content will still land. But it's really just taking inventory of yourself. It's like, who do you want to be known for? How do you want to be represented? And who do you want to work with? Who do you want to serve? And like, how can you make content around that? I like to say that stories sell, facts smell. So don't go on camera and be like, you should be doing this or you should be doing that. It's like, no, talk about one of your client journeys. Maybe you had a client that really wanted to move here from another state, and all the things that you did to help them, secure that, or be confident, that this is the move that they want to make. It's like, oh, cool. So you maybe FaceTime them when you're at the property, or maybe you got a 3D virtual tour of the property so that you can, send that out to them so they can really get a good visual. And it's just telling the story of how you've helped your clients so that other people can put themselves in those shoes, but you're telling people what they need to do, but in just an artistic way by telling the story. You want to be consistent on social media. I do recommend bulking the content. I make a joke that like trying to sit down a realtor, it's like trying to rein in a wild bull. And so it's like just put literally 2 different dates a month where you have one day where you spend an hour or 2 just content brainstorming. And then you have another date where it's like 2 to 4 hours where you're actually filming the content.
Okay. And so that's like sitting down, filming the content, but that's content you'll post over the next month.
Exactly.
Right. So it's like doing batch content and so I do something similar where like I just had this question from a client asked me, and it added to my list of, questions of the week. And then I'll come into the studio and I just, turn on I have the
Smart.
luxury or whatever of having invested in this space, right?
Yeah.
So I can turn on the computer and hit record, and I don't have to wait for the camera crew or the lighting crew to show up, right? But
we're very fast though. Okay.
Yes. So I guess the point is like write down those like frequently asked questions that you're getting, and then record a bunch of video at once.
Yeah.
Bring a couple different shirts, record a bunch of video, and then you can post that content over the next period of time.
And that's one way. And then the second way would be like still have that content brainstorming day, but then choose 2 days out of the month where you're just super packed, where you have client showings, open houses, where you're able to just document what you're doing.
So I struggle with that. So give me some tips on like, I've done like the day in the life when I like was traveling up to go see our team up in Portland.
Okay.
And I was like, here I am getting in the car at 4:00 in the morning, and I'm getting on the airplane, and then I'm on the plane, and then it was actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
But like I'm get so busy in my day that I don't think to like pull out my phone and take a short little clip of what I'm doing. So like how do you get started? Like you do a really good job of documenting what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. So give me some tips there.
My rule is just when you're first doing it, when you first get there, just get the content. Like right when I get there, I'm taking the video, I'm taking the selfie, whatever the case may be, so that I can just go be present in whatever I'm doing. Because it's hard to, you're in the moment, you're talking with your clients, and then you're like, oh, shoot, wait, let me just take this selfie real fast. So when you do it in the very beginning,
we're having this great conversation. Hold on for 1 second while I take this.
Exactly. Yeah. And then for something like that, like, I think doing the recording just like that gets some B-roll. But then when you're going into those meetings, having a tripod, a standing tripod where you can just put your phone there, as long as you have good audio, like just record, what's going on. And then from there, you can go back and like just clip it to where it's just sitting there in the background. You're not focusing on like, am I in frame or whatever? Or am I saying the right things? And just literally just capturing the whole entire day so that you're able to then just cut it up into short content. But giving that behind the scenes is, I think, something we're in a voyeuristic society. We're always taking a little peek behind people's curtain, through social media. And so you're allowing people to see like, oh, that's what it's like to work with this person, how they interact with their client. Oh, that's how they interact with their team. I really like the way that they, approach their team and they're being a leader to their team. And it entices people to, get to really know you on a personal level, but then it really speeds up that process of getting them to know, like, and trust you.
Right.
And having them reach out to you.
Yeah. It's really interesting to maybe can think back to interactions that you've had, and it's like, oh, you'll see someone you haven't seen for a while, but then they'll be like, oh, I saw, you with your kids at the park that would look like really cool. Is that the park by your house? Right. And like, yeah. And then you can people are curious about what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Right. And so one really effective way to market yourself is just to like you said, let people kind of peek behind the curtain, kind of see who you really are at your core, what you believe in, because how you spend your time tells a lot of people about what you care about. Right.
100%.
So, right. So you don't have to say, I'm a dad and I love spending time with my kids. Right. Like you can say that all you want, but like show the picture, show the proof in a way that like, that's what you really care about. right?
Exactly.
And then people will know because you post a bunch of pictures about your cat and your football team that I don't like, which is fine. It's okay
Whatever,
that
this
you're a
podcast
Raiders
is
fan.
over.
Yeah, exactly. But like it's good because then we can have some banter about that.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah. So I think like, but you don't have to tell people everything. You don't have to be totally transparent. Like you can keep some things private, but there are aspects of your personal life and your character that you can push to the front, and that becomes kind of your persona.
Exactly. And I think with that, like Gary Vee is a prime example. Like he is all over social media.
Right.
But do you ever see about his kids?
Never see anything about his kids.
Like I remember he had posted like he was with another woman and like and in the comments it was like, oh shoot, you got a divorce? Like when the hell did you even get a divorce?
Yeah.
And
then he like never commented about it.
Yeah, no.
And he was just like, it's not your business.
And so you don't have to, be naked in front of the camera or to the social media world, but there's a way that you can show yourself. And I think the best way to do that is just document what you're already doing. Because the information that you're giving to your clients at that moment is 9 times out of 10 other people online have those same exact questions, want to know those things. And so you're 1, giving the peek behind the curtain. 2, you're still giving valuable content. And 3, it's just entertaining.
Right.
And and have fun with it. I think too many people like see this as a chore and it's rigid. But honestly, like I have some of my clients who took like a whole 2 months off of creating content because we bulked the content beforehand.
Yeah.
They went on vacation and we're still getting leads, still getting people reaching out to them, and they weren't even marketing themselves.
Yeah.
They weren't doing their day to day.
Are there specific types of posts that you hear about that are the ones that like get the phone to ring? Without giving away anyone's secrets.
Yeah. I know, it's a tough one. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think there's any one way. I don't think there's one video that makes you go viral and all of a sudden you're getting all these leads. I think it's a series of videos that you're constantly putting out, or content, I should say. But it's also just taking your own spin on it. Like when I see those market update posts, it was like, oh, this is the, January market update of 2024. Like, cool. But like an average homeowner and seller is not really going to understand those numbers.
There's no context.
Exactly.
Right. So more interesting than posting the market update is to interpret it and do a short video about like, here's the breakdown of what's happened in the market.
Yeah.
There are currently X amount of listings. Is that a good number? Is that a bad number? Is that more or less than last year? What does this mean and why is it important?
Exactly.
Right?
That, and you can even just post that graphic, but then on the caption, you dive in a little bit deeper and then giving your taste on it. There's multiple ways that you can spin it, but it's just really being your authentic self. If you're authentic and you can make people laugh a little bit, give people education or value, and you do that on a consistent basis, but you're also reaching out, you're posting on people's content. When you have that mixture over time, things just compound over time.
Right.
And with my profile, it took me 3 years of just constantly posting, mainly posting on my stories. I maybe post once a week on my actual page or once a couple weeks. But I'm active on my stories every single day.
Right.
And with that, I have agents that I reached out to year 1, year 2. They didn't give me the time of day. But now year 3, when they see me working with their other agents, and now
isn't that interesting?
Oh, man, it's
really interesting because it's almost like FOMO in a way, but it's it's more like social proof.
Yeah.
Right. When you're an unknown vendor, right? So business partner, however you want to classify yourself, right? And then you get a couple of key accounts, right? You get a couple of people who give you social proof, like, oh, well, if you're good enough to work with so-and-so, then I should give you a try. And then the momentum that picks up from that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think you're experiencing that right now. You started off with a couple of people that you're working with, and then all of a sudden I see your behind the scenes clips and I'm like, oh, she's working with them now? Oh, we talked about this morning, you're hanging out with Eric Hackney, you're doing a video. Okay, you're up here, now you're here, now you're there. And I see you everywhere. And that's really amazing because a year ago when we were talking about this, this was just an idea. I think you had just done your first set of social media clips with one of your clients that you had from doing their real estate photography, right? So pretty quick evolution into building that social proof. And I think social media has a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Just how you presented, who you're working with, how you're working with them, how you're helping them. And then everyone's like, oh, well, I want to do that too.
Yeah. And then the word of mouth just continues to spread that way on top of the social media. And I think too, one of the things that that I know every single time that we've done this are interviews. So when our client interviewed like a home inspector or a pest inspector or a business owner, that content always performed really well because you're doing two things. One, you're showing like, oh, cool, like I'm giving you value by bringing this guest on. But then two, you're doing what I like to call audience hacking, where that person's like, oh, you made a cool video. You interviewed me. Like, I'm going to post it on my social channel.
Are you listening? Because this is what we're doing right now.
Seriously. I mean, last time I was on
I'm
the
like,
pod-
what a great idea. This is news to me.
Yes. Yeah.
So hello to all the Digital Twinners followers out there. It's nice to see you all.
And hello to all dance followers.
Exactly.
But I mean, like, even last time I was on the podcast, I ended up getting, you know, a client from a San Francisco area who watches your podcast. Yep.
Yes.
And
Shout out to the architect.
Yes. Hi, Amir. And, you know, did an amazing project for him.
That was
and,
beautiful.
Oh my goodness. That home was gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. But it just goes to show, like, you put yourself out there, you be a good human first.
Right.
Like, if you're a good human and you're being true to yourself and you're really trying to help people, like, and you're consistent with that and you're consistently showing that messaging, like, sky is literally the limit. I really see social media as a vehicle for you to achieve your business goals. And if you're achieving your business goals, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be achieving your personal dreams at that point. And so it's like using the vehicle. Social media is your digital resume. And so you want to make sure that you have your true self on there. And when clients are asking me, like, I don't know what to say, or like, I don't know what to, you know, present on there, but it's like, one, you know, go into that inventory with your clients. What are they asking you, you know, on a consistent basis? But two, when you are being interviewed by, you know, potential clients, you know, they ask you like, why you over all these other agents? And whatever answer that you give them, you need to make content about that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 100% right. Like, why you, if that in that sea of sameness of 5,000 people who are qualified, you know, to sell you a house, right? Have done the training and have the licensing to do that. Why you of all people? There's lots of people who have cameras.
Yep.
Right? There's lots of people who can do mortgages. Why me over them? Why you over whoever else? Right?
Yep. And when you're doing that too, you're really filtering through the noise, but then your prospects, because you don't want to work with somebody that just a personality fit just doesn't match. You know, like you're an entrepreneur at this point when you're in real estate, right? Being a mortgage lender or a realtor, like you're running your own little small business. And so you get to choose who you get to work with.
Right.
And the last thing you want to do is like put in all this work so that you can work with somebody who's just making you want to pull your hair out.
Right.
And so by making content in this way, you're really filtering that out so you can really work with people who genuinely like you and trust you and want to work with you.
And they'll self-select out.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you don't believe what I believe, then you won't work with me, right? If we're just totally not compatible in certain ways, right?
Yeah.
And like, I'm actually okay with that because it's just not worth the time and energy to work with someone who's just, you know, not a model match.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So anyway.
And what's cool too, when you are doing this type of content, like you're going to notice it with your friend group, your acquaintances. Like the amount of times I gotten my clients calling me after we do a couple videos, they're like, oh my God, I was at the grocery store and this person approached me and had seen my videos. Like, this is so cool. I had one woman go back to her high school reunion back east, and she gave me a call that night, and she was so like just over the top of just like, man, like all of them out there think I'm like the superstar out here just from all the content that we're making. And it really there's this I think just a confidence boost that you get when you start to put it out there and you start to see the different people reaching back out to you. And I think it encourages you to want to do more, but then also do it better because it's like, okay, these people are seeing it. So like, how do I improve this?
No, 100%. You know, I was in a bit of a lull with the podcast because this is a lot of work. You know, I did 52 episodes in 52 weeks last year.
Nice.
And, you know, that was I committed to it. It's like, I'm going to do one episode a week. So I was doing some batching. If I had a vacation or I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it, I do like 4 or 5 recordings in a day sometimes, you know, like a month worth of, and it's a lot of work and energy, and you kind of like pump yourself up for it.
Yeah.
But I tell you, yesterday I got a call from another lender, and he's like, hey, you know, I might be looking for a new place to work, and where I'm at now is okay, but it's not great. And I've just been watching your content. I just really like, I've never met this guy, you know, we've just talked on social, and he called me out of the blue. I actually thought he was like a spam call. I was like, hello, what do you want? You know, it's like, oops, sorry, man. And he's like, I feel like I know you because of you, the way that you present yourself. And like, we would jive. And I'm like, cool. Like, let's talk. You know, that's really, it's fun when you kind of get over the fear of putting yourself out there, right? And it's not just with video, it's also the written content. I've been doing a lot more like writing, especially on like LinkedIn, writing articles and kind of talking about the mortgage industry, talking about communication. Did you see my post about communication?
I didn't.
Oh, you have to read the whole thing. It's really funny.
Okay.
Anyway, you have to kind of get over your ego a bit and just know that some people are going to look at it and go, that's really dumb. And I don't get that. And I think that they're stupid for making that content. And that's like a very few people, you know, 1 in 10,000 people are going to think that. And everyone else is either going to think nothing about it or they're going to think it's cool. So like once you kind of get that in your head, like there's nothing really to risk here, then you can let it kind of flow. And then I think it's fun and it's not less kind of scary. Right.
Exactly.
So, let's recap of kind of the to-do list, because I feel like we kind of got all over the place.
Yeah. So
to-do list, use the platforms, but actually interact. Don't post and ghost.
Yep.
Right. Document your days and give people more than just the perfectly curated posts with the perfect lighting. Let them kind of see behind the scenes about what's going on in your life and your career and what you're doing. What else? Posting more about just than business.
Yeah.
Right. Posting, showing people who you are and what you believe in through your social content. Storytelling.
Yeah, storytelling and bringing value by interviewing, you know, other industry experts.
Okay. And then what do you call it? Audience hacking?
Yeah.
Right. So we're doing this together, right? So I'm going to post you on my social. You'll post me on your social. People get to know me through you and vice versa. And that's a mutually beneficial thing.
Yeah.
And that's good for everybody, right?
Yeah.
But I think the key there is like, I genuinely appreciate you and like you as a person. So I'm happy for my audience and my realtor partners to like reach out to you.
Likewise.
Right. So like when Chelsea reached out to you to do that listing, Chelsea Runnings is a friend of the show. And you did the
Windward
in Willow Glen in Rona Park. Right. I was thrilled to see that you guys were working together. I was like, yes, because
awesome.
It's great people, right? Just connecting great people. So, you know, I think that's the other thing is if you are in the real estate business, right, help each other out. Like post, like other people's stuff. And there's if you have an abundance mindset, right?
That is so
there's
key.
Plenty to go around, right? And help each other out. If you see someone that's doing a great job, just like their stuff, comment on it, and reach out to them or repost it. I think that would be a really cool takeaway.
Agreed. Especially with when it comes to that too, it's like there's thousands of homes in Sonoma County and they get sold multiple times over again.
Yeah.
Like there's plenty of fish in the sea. And so when I see this, when I could smell the commission breath with some of these realtors, I just want to tell them, just relax. Like there's plenty to go around. Just be confident in who you are. And like when you start to put that out there, what you put out is what you get back. And so, you hit it on the head right there.
People are going to follow you on social, but tell people where they can find you and whatever else you want to tell them.
Yeah. Gosh. So you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, at Ashley M. Gomez _. But I'd love to I'm doing a free 1-hour consultation right now, just to kind of do a deep dive in the Instagram or the social media channels. I'll give you as much value as I can. You can take it, go run with it. If you want to work together, awesome. But I really just try to give people as much value as possible. I absolutely love social media. I love it. I love the power of social media.
You can tell because you are really great at it, and you can tell like you're not doing it because it's like, I want to be successful in business. I guess I have to do this. Like you actually enjoy it.
I do, especially because I think back to like, if I were able to have this business when my dad was still here and a realtor, like I know for a fact that if he benefited from the power of social media, like I really could have had him here for a few extra years, because like just the power that you can get with just growing your business and what comes with that, you know, like being able to have that impact on somebody, like you're able to, one, help them grow their business. They get more clients, which means they get more income. They can grow a team, which means you're affecting their team, and that trickle-down effect. I love it,
Feels
and
good,
I want
right?
more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. I'm really grateful that you're here. Thanks for being a friend of the show and a friend. I appreciate our friendship. And
Likewise.
I will have you on again sometime soon. We need to do this more regularly. This is fun to talk about
Agreed.
social and different like trends and what's going on.
Yeah, 'cause things are constantly changing.
Yeah,
so.
if you're not following Ash and Digital Twinners, please do. We'll make sure there's links in the show notes. And if you have any questions about your social, you want that free 1-hour audit to kind of see what's working and what's not and get some tips, reach out. And I'm sure those time slots fill up because you're a busy person.
Yeah, they do. But I really enjoy it. It's cool to get a peek behind other people's curtains and really help them, grow and achieve their goals. So
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. See you soon.
Thank you.
Stay up to date with Bay Area real estate. Hit subscribe now if you haven't already. Did you enjoy this episode? We love reviews in the Apple Podcasts app. We'll read yours on the show. This is By the Bay.
Landing Ear Media.